There is a strange moment that almost everyone recognizes. You wake up with a plan. Maybe last night you promised yourself that this time would be different. You were going to wake up early, train, build, study, clean your life up. For a few hours, it felt real. You could almost see the person you were becoming. Then morning arrives. The room is cold, the phone is close, the body is heavy, and the version of you who made that promise feels like someone you barely know. That is where most people make the first mistake. They think motivation was supposed to stay. They think the feeling was the foundation. So when the feeling disappears, they believe something is wrong with them. But motivation was never the foundation. Motivation is a spark. It is useful, beautiful, and temporary. It lights the room for a second. It lets you see the door. But it cannot carry you through the door. The spark has one job. It points. It says, look, there is another way to live. But after that, the spark fades. And when it fades, you meet the part of life that no quote can do for you. You meet the floor. You meet the blank page. You meet the shoes by the door. You meet the small action that has been waiting quietly the whole time. This is the point where a life either changes or becomes another plan. The mind does not trust speeches. It does not trust promises. It trusts evidence. Every time you say, tomorrow I will change, and tomorrow becomes another ordinary day, your mind is listening. Quietly, it files that promise away as another story you tell yourself when the night is emotional. This is not weakness. It is memory. Your brain is trying to protect you from disappointment. So the next time you feel inspired, it asks a fair question. Where is the proof? That question can feel cruel, but it is actually an invitation. Your mind is not asking for perfection. It is asking for a receipt. Something small, something real, something it can count. Because the self is not built from what you imagine when you feel strong. It is built from what you return to when you do not. And that is why discipline matters. Discipline is not a personality trait that some chosen people are born with. Discipline is what begins when the argument is over. It is the act you perform after the feeling has left, not because you are excited, not because the sky opens, but because you decided that your future should not depend on the weather inside your chest. You do not need to win the whole day. You need to win the next honest action. One push-up, one paragraph, one cleaned corner of the room, one walk outside, one glass of water instead of another hour of scrolling. These actions look too small to matter, which is exactly why they matter. They slip past the part of the mind that is waiting for drama. They do not ask for a new identity. They create one. A habit is a vote, not a speech. Not a fantasy, a vote. Every small action says, this is who I am becoming. And at first, the vote feels meaningless. One day does not transform a person. One mark on a calendar does not build a life. But the second vote is different from the first. The third is different from the second. Soon, you are not trying to believe in yourself. You are remembering what you have already done. That is when confidence becomes quiet. Quiet confidence is different from excitement. Excitement is loud before the work. Confidence is quiet after the work. It doesn't need to announce itself because it has evidence. You said you would show up, and then you did. Maybe badly, maybe slowly, maybe without grace, but you showed up. And the mind respects what repeats. Most people wait to feel worthy before they act. But worthiness is not a mood you wait for. It is something you practice until your nervous system starts to recognize your own effort. The person you want to become is not hiding behind a perfect morning. They are hidden inside the action you keep avoiding. Fear will still come. Doubt will still talk. The old version of you will still reach for comfort. But you do not have to defeat every part of yourself at once. You only have to stop treating resistance as a command. Resistance is weather. Discipline is architecture. Weather changes. Architecture remains. Build something that does not collapse every time your mood changes. Build a routine so small that you could do it on bad days. Build a standard so honest that you cannot hide behind intensity. Then protect it. This is where habits become merciful. A good habit does not ask you to become heroic every morning. It removes the debate. It gives the tired version of you a path to follow. It says, start here. Put on the shoes. Open the notebook. Sit at the desk for 10 minutes. Do the first rep. Turn the key. The goal is not to feel powerful. The goal is to make beginning normal. There will be days when action feels almost insulting. You'll want a bigger sign, a stronger feeling, a cinematic moment where everything finally clicks. But most lives do not change in thunder. They change in repetition. They change when no one is watching. They change when you do the quiet thing again and again until the quiet thing becomes proof. The world sees the result. You live the repetitions. And if you miss a day, do not turn one missed day into an identity. Missing once is human. Missing twice is a pattern asking for attention. The answer is not shame. The answer is return. Return smaller if you have to. Return slower if you must. But return. A disciplined life is not a perfect line. It is a person learning how to come back without making a theatre out of failure. So when motivation disappears, do not panic. Its disappearance is not the end of the path. It is the beginning of the real one. The spark showed you the door. Now the habit has to build the road. Tonight, do not promise a new life. Choose one action so small it almost feels beneath you. Write it down. Do it tomorrow, even badly. Then do it again. Because your future self is not waiting for a louder feeling. Your future self is waiting for evidence. And every time you act without needing the feeling, you place one more piece of evidence in their hands. Not proof that you are perfect. Proof that you can return. Proof that you can begin again. Proof that you're not trapped inside the person you were yesterday. You do not need motivation forever. You need one honest action, then another. If this spoke to the battle you do not always show, subscribe to internal struggle. And before you leave, write one honest action you are choosing tomorrow. Thank you for watching.